Hello everyone, this is Remlays from 40k Theories, and welcome to this new episode of 40k Lore for Newcomers. For this episode, we will be continuing with our brief look at the Warhammer 40,000 timeline. While these videos will typically focus more on humanity's actions throughout the timeline, certain important Xenos events will also be documented throughout. So, without further ado, let's continue. The following account is a continuation of events occurring throughout M41. Because of how intricate and detailed the events of this time were, only certain key events will be mentioned, which in turn will be expanded upon in future videos. In addition, there is also a small chance for potential inaccuracies of specific dates due to contradicting sources. For events that occurred prior to this, make sure to check out the previous videos in the 40k timeline. 990 M41. The Drukhari noble Zorothriel of the Flaying Blade leads a hunting expedition upon the demon world of Kornax. During their hunt, the Drukhari capture a number of flesh hounds, including a three-headed specimen known as Karanak, intent on bringing the Khornate's demons back for use in Comora's gladiatorial pits. However, Karanak would break free during transit, and after freeing its packmates, the demons would slaughter all of the Drukhari on board the ship. The Fire Lords chapter of the Adeptus Astartes launches an assault against the Necrons upon the world of Bellicas. The Astartes succeed in annihilating all trace of the Xenos upon the world, avenging the loss of the second incarnation of the Emperor's Swords chapter. Circa 990 M41. Genestealers managed to infiltrate the world of Icar IV, infecting a portion of the population and establishing a cult known simply as the Brotherhood. The Brotherhood would pretend to be a cult dedicated to the Emperor, fooling Imperial authorities for an undesignated period of time, though the planetary governor would refuse to allow members of the cult to be inducted into the world's planetary defense forces. The Brotherhood begin their insurgency following the construction of their cathedral, and the world of Icar IV is plunged into civil war. Inquisitor Agmar of the Ordo Hereticus investigates this cult uprising, and upon deducing the Brotherhood to be a Genestealer cult, requests assistance from the Ultramarine Space Marine chapter. The Ultramarines succeed in slaying the cult's patriarch, and the cult is presumed destroyed shortly thereafter. Agmar learns from several astropaths of a great disturbance within the warp, prompting him to warn the Inquisition that a massive Tyranid Hive fleet is en route. 991 M41. The Second Tyrannic War begins. The Sororitas of the Order of Our Martyred Lady reinforce Astra Militarum forces upon the cardinal world of Acasis against the Tyranids of Hive Fleet Kraken. Kraken assaults as a nigh unstoppable mass and succeed in breaching the walls of the ecclesiarchal cathedral. Canoness Praxedes suffers a mortal wound from the swarm's Hive Tyrant, but before she perishes, Praxedes manages to single-handedly turn the tide of the battle by slaying the beast, crushing its skull with her power mace. With the death of the Hive Tyrant, the remainder of the Tyranids are swiftly dealt with by the remaining Sororitas and Guard forces. Circa 992 M41. Kraken makes its approach to Icar IV, causing hundreds, if not thousands of Genestealers that had somehow survived the purging of the Brotherhood to emerge from hiding. The Tyranids would begin to overrun the world, but the chapter master of the Ultramarines, Marnius Calgar, would rally the defending Imperial forces. Calgar would succeed in slaying the creature known as the Swarm Lord, driving the Tyranids into disarray and allowing them to be countered at every turn by Imperial forces. A splinter fleet of Hive Fleet Kraken assaults the Eldari craft world of Iyanden. This splinter causes untold devastation upon the craft world, slaying most of its population and even destroying its avatar of Cain. All life upon Iyanden would have been made extinct were it not for the timely arrival of a Corsair fleet led by Prince Iriel, with Iriel personally slaying the commanding Hive Tyrant after taking up the weapon known as the Spear of Twilight. Sotha, the homeworld of the Scythes of the Emperor chapter, is scoured of all life by the bioforms of Kraken, and the surviving members of the chapter would make their last stand upon the world of Miral Prime, before becoming overwhelmed and consumed. The Lamenters chapter suffered devastating losses in their own battles with the Hive Fleet, only narrowly avoiding destruction during the course of the war. Kraken succeeds in devastating hundreds of planets before its onslaught is eventually halted, ending the Second Tyrannic War. 993 M41. The Iron Warrior's warsmith Vostok Pistonhand seizes control of the Dark Mechanicum Soul Forge of Dizos. Vostok then begins using the world's soul forges to create countless numbers of demon engines, binding numerous demons within their construction. Offended by this arrogance, the ruinous powers dispatch legions of their demonic servants to put an end to the warsmith's ambitions, with the conflict lasting for over a month. With the death of Vostok, the demonic legions then turn upon each other, with the war still ongoing to this day. The Imperium and the forces of the Tau Empire battle upon the strategically important world of Nimbosa. The Tau succeed in obtaining a strong grip upon the world, forcing the Imperium to request additional reinforcements from the Astra Militarum. This eventually leads to the Koloth Gorge Massacre, where the Tau slaughtered Imperial troops with such barbarism and brutality that their commander, known as Brightsword, is forced to return to the world of Tau to answer for the atrocities committed during the conflict. 995 M41. A mysterious being identifying itself as the voice of the Emperor appears within the Agrippina system. This figure, speculated to be the fallen angel known as Cypher, begins spreading discontent and anarchy throughout the system, eventually resulting in the system's population launching an open revolt against the Adeptus Administratum. The Red Corsairs launch an assault against a combined Space Wolf and Deathhawk strike force stationed within orbit of the world of Perenzes. Huron Blackheart captures the Space Wolf strike cruiser Wolf of Fenris after personally slaying its commander Neil Bluetooth in single combat. The Tyranids of Hive Fleet Jormungandr enter the Milky Way galaxy from the galactic northeast. The Astartes of the Death Spectres and Honored Sons chapter form the spear tip for the Imperium's defense against the Swarm. 996 M41. A splinter fleet of Hive Fleet Jormungandr is destroyed during the Battle of Goyen Valley by the 18th Valhallan Ice Warriors Imperial Guard Regiment. The Dark Angels chapter investigate a distress signal coming from the hives of Deganian 13. As the Dark Angels make their way into the hive, they are beset upon by a Genestealer brood. The Ravenwing Company succeeds in slaying the Broodlord, allowing the rest of the chapter to purge the hives of the Xenos. The chapter then has the world marked to be tested for further corruption. 997 M41. The Tau Empire begins its third sphere of expansion, led by Commander Shadowsun, who had been in stasis during the Farsight expedition and awakened by Ethereal Supreme Aunvar. The Sept world of Cassimienne is established and used as a staging ground for the duration of the campaign. Hive Fleet Medusa enters the Milky Way galaxy via the region of space known as the Ghoul Stars. The Officio Assassinorum dispatches agents to slay the mysterious Voice of the Emperor, though the assassins fail in their mission. The planetary governor of Ferrite Mons jokingly extends an invitation for the handmaidens of Slaanesh to join him at one of his many opulent feasts. His invitation is accepted, and over 100,000 demonettes begin to manifest upon the world. several regiments of the Vestroyan Firstborn attempt to purge the world of demonic activity, but ultimately fail. Hive Fleet Leviathan begins to enter the galaxy from beneath the galactic plane, and begins to cut a swath of destruction throughout Segmentum Solar, Segmentum Tempestus, and Ultima Segmentum. Unlike previous Hive Fleets, Leviathan has split its forces in two. The Iron Warriors' Traitor Legion defends their stronghold world of Forgefane from the beasts of Leviathan. The Heretic Astartes muster an impressive defense, but are overrun after several weeks of intense fighting. A tendril of Hive Fleet Leviathan is destroyed by the combined efforts of the Ultramarines and Mortificators chapters during the Battle of Tarsus Ultra. The Orc warlords Gazgul Maguruk Thraka and Nazdreg Ug Urdgrub join forces to launch an assault upon the world of Piscina IV, taking the defenders by surprise thanks to Nazdreg's teleporter technology, built by the mech boy Orchimedes. The Orcs attempt to seize control of the power stations within the world's capital of Calidus Harbour, but the warriors of the Dark Angel's Third Company, led by Company Master Belial, manage to keep the Orcs at bay long enough to receive reinforcement. The Orcs are eventually forced to retreat, but Gazgul has already moved on to his next campaign with Orchimedes and the knowledge of the teleporters. And that concludes this portion of the Warhammer 40,000 timeline. Join us next time as we continue chronicling the events of M41. If you liked this video, consider supporting us on Patreon for more content. To those who are new to 40k, we hope you learned something. So leave a comment below, and thanks for watching.